Hello, everyone. I don't know if Facebook just caught me coughing, but I was in the middle of a cough when the countdown started, so I don't know if this video includes that cough. But anyways, hello there. It is Dr. Siobhan, and we are here in this self-care challenge. Today is day number 4, which means tomorrow, which is Friday, is the last day of our challenge, and I'm excited. I'm really excited. I was particularly excited about today's challenge, which was move your body, spend at least 10 minutes moving your body any kind of way. I saw people report that they walked up and down the stairs for 10 minutes. God bless you. God bless you, Lachelle, because that's not me. I took a nice stroll. It was actually really nice in New Jersey today. It was probably in the 60s, so I took a nice 20-minute walk, actually, and I didn't want it to end, but I had some other things to do. And it was really nice to just get out and get that fresh air and keep my body moving for that consecutive period of time. So if you haven't tried it yet, do it, right? You don't need a gym, you don't need a treadmill, you don't need to even go outside necessarily. You can walk in place in your house. I've done it and it works. You know, that exercise really releases those endorphins. It reduces your stress level, your anxiety, puts you in a better mood, gives you a sense of accomplishment. And you never know what it might lead to because you might love it so much. So don't strain yourself, but just move your body for 10 minutes, 15 minutes if you can. And be sure to post in the day 4 post right here on this group. So I'm coming to you a little bit early tonight than I normally do, mostly because self-care is important, and I've got to take care of myself during this self-care challenge, and I've been going to bed way too late. And today it was really clear that I'm not getting the proper amount of sleep, and so guess what? I'm going to bed early tonight, and which meant that I needed to do this live stream early. So I wanted to come on tonight and just talk briefly about the do's and don'ts of self-care. And, you know, obviously this is not a new topic to us. We've been delving deeply into self-care this week. We first talked about why you're so stressed out in the first place. We talked about our Superwoman cave and why we can't put it down. And then we really had the opportunity to sort of tune into our spiritual self-care. And hopefully you had an opportunity to listen to that app Abide that I mentioned. And then today was all about our physical self-care. And so I thought I would give a little bit of content more broadly about the do's and don'ts of self-care, and then send you on your way with your challenge activity for tomorrow. And so one of the first things, and I have to say for myself, this rang so true today, in terms of a do and a don't for self-care. And so the do is do send SOS signals, right? Do send SOS signals. Don't send death threats. Now, I didn't go that far today, but you know what I mean, right? We may not be that extreme, but what I'm really saying here is do ask for help, and don't bite people's head off. Basically, that's what it means, because we know how we get, right? When you're stressed out, when you're overwhelmed, like your patience is -10, and if people aren't doing things on your timeline in the way that you want to do it, your potential to bite their head off or say something really mean or do something really mean or do something really off-putting is really, really high. And so the first do and don't are do send SOS signals, meaning, hey, help me, I need some help, help me, right? Not, I can't believe you didn't do this. Can you please, like, go do this, right? Which I kind of found myself doing a little bit towards the end of the day today, which is why I need to go to bed. So just don't do it, right? Don't send those death threats. Don't give those death looks like, I can't believe you're not helping me. I can't believe you're not figuring out what I need from you right now. But send a SOS signal, okay? Ask for help. The do and don't number 2 is do see it as a selfless act for those you love, right? As women, as mothers, as entrepreneurs, as wives, as professionals, we think we can't afford to take time for ourselves because it's going to take away from the other responsibilities. It's going to let people down that are depending on us for certain things. But what we also know is that when we overcommit ourselves, we overtax ourselves, we stretch ourselves too thin, that we don't even fulfill those obligations, we don't even fulfill those roles with gladness and joy, right? Because you're a little bit resentful that you have to do it because it's way too much for you. And so you're not doing anybody any favors by taking on too much, by not taking a pause and taking time for yourself and trying to do it all, because you're not doing it all, or at least you're not doing it all in a way that makes people glad you're doing it, right? And so you may be, you know, washing the dishes, but you have a little bit of an attitude, or you may be doing that extra project at work, but you have a little bit of a chip on your shoulder about it, right? And so do see it as a selfless act, right, for those that you love and for those that you care about. Don't see it as taking time away from your loved ones, right? So my decision to go to bed early tonight means that, you know, the time my husband and I might normally have together is not there. But if I saw it, right, if I saw getting to bed early tonight as something that was taking away, right, then I might push myself to stay up, and then I would be no fun to be around. And that's when arguments happen. That's when, you know, the ground is ripe for tension to occur, rather than me just being honest with myself, recognizing my energy level, recognizing my mood, and saying, you know what, I would love to spend this time with you, but I think it's best for everybody if I just go to bed early, right? And he'll probably agree. He'll probably agree. So again, the second do and don't is do see it as a selfless act for those you love. Don't see it as taking away time from your loved ones. You're actually refreshing yourself, refueling yourself, rejuvenating yourself, so you can then give more to them later when you have it to give. But you got to fill yourself up. You can't pour from an empty cup, right? So fill yourself up first as an act of love for them and for yourself. The do and don't number 3 is do schedule it in. Do schedule it in. The don't is don't leave it to chance, right? So we talked about the 7 different aspects of self-care, and I want you to, again, begin to expand your definition, begin to expand your mindset around it, and make sure that you are attending to each of those 7 areas of self-care. And in order to do that, you got to be very intentional and schedule it in, which means that you say to yourself, today, this is the day I'm going to do this. Like every Wednesday, I'm going to move my body for 10 minutes, or Thursday, today's Thursday. Every Thursday, I'm going to move my body for 10 minutes. Every Wednesday, I'm going to listen to the Abide app, right? Whatever you decide to do, reflective of those 7 areas. But there's 7 areas, there's 7 days a week, right? You could just make a decision that each day you're going to attend to one of those 7 areas, and you're going to schedule it in. Like you're going to put it as an appointment on your calendar. You're going to put a reminder, an alarm, whatever you have to do to make sure that that is protected, sacred time for you. And we're talking 10 minutes here, 10 to 15 minutes, right? So schedule it in. Don't leave it for chance where you wake up and you're like, yeah, you know, I'm going to really try. I'm going to really try to take a walk today. Whenever I hear people say, I'm going to try, that's code word for, no, I'm not doing it. I'm going to give you this lip service, but I'm not doing it. So I want you to raise your level of seriousness about your own self-care. Make it so important that you actually schedule it in so that you don't forget and that you have some dedicated time to it. 10 minutes. We're talking about 10 minutes. You deserve that. Okay? The next do and don't are do make a list. Don't expect it to come naturally. So some of the things that we may have done in this challenge, or some of the things that I'll talk about maybe in a summary for other ideas for self-care activities, are things that we may have heard of, we may have thought about, but aren't our natural daily habits, right? Otherwise, we wouldn't need a challenge like this to push us to integrate self-care into our lives. But in order to be able to do that, you've got to have like your buffet, right? You've got to have your buffet of menu items that really speaks to your specific needs, right? So if taking a walk is not necessarily the physical self-care activity that you personally need, maybe it's drinking more water, right? Maybe it's paying attention to how much caffeine you have. Whatever it is, it doesn't really matter as long as you are attending to that part of self-care, right? And so I want you to begin to get into the habit, even now, you know, as you think about those 7 dimensions of self-care, think about what you will personally do for each one of those and just write a list. And so it's like your regular list that you can just go back to and like let your eyes scan and be like, have I done that recently? Have I done that recently? Like I probably should pick up the phone and call a friend, right? Because part of self-care is social interaction, connection with other people. So make a list, right? I actually have a list of 10 self-care items, and my goal is always to do 3 of those a day. But I've got to have the list in the first place. So I encourage you to develop your own list, and don't expect it to come naturally. Like, don't expect being in the habit of thinking about your self-care. Don't expect being in the habit of sort of mentally checking off, did I do this today for myself? Did I do this today for myself? That's not normal, right? Because that's not your routine that you've been doing. And so I don't want you to have this expectation of, oh, I should just, you know, I'm going to will myself to do it. No, the way you will yourself to do anything is you consistently do it day after day after day after day, so much so that it becomes a habit, right? I've been, since October, beginning of October, practicing gratitude each night before I go to bed. I write down 10 things that I'm grateful for. And let me tell you, there are plenty of times where I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sleepy. And one time, no lie, like one time I was like, okay, I can't do it. And I went to bed. Don't you know, let me tell you this story. Don't you know, 2 owls, 1 o'clock a.m., mating signals to each other. I don't know what they were doing, but 2 owls awakened me. And they went on for no less than half an hour. I could not go back to sleep. And I was like, okay, God, you're telling me like I need to do my gratitude. So guess what I did? I was up anyways. My journal was right there. I wrote my gratitudes. By then they were quiet and I went back to sleep, right? And so the way that that has become natural to me now, so now I don't even really have to like push myself to do it. It's just like, oh, okay, as soon as I'm done with this live stream, that's what I'm going to do. And it's natural now because I have it on my list of things to do and I did it consistently. So that's the do and the don't. So do make a list, but don't expect things on that list to always come naturally to you. Sometimes you just have to make a mental commitment to do it, and then it'll be easy, and then it'll feel natural to you. The next one, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 do's and don'ts. So let me just give a recap. The first one was do send SOS signals, don't send death threats, which means do ask for help, don't bite people's head off. Number 2 was do see self-care as a selfless act for those you love. The don't there was don't see it as taking away time from the ones you love. Number 3 was do schedule it in. Don't leave it to chance, right? Schedule it, put it in that calendar. Number 4 was do make a list and know exactly what works for you. Don't expect it to come naturally. And then the 5th one, which I'll share now, is do be comprehensive, right? And don't put yourself in a box. And so, again, I've been encouraging us all to expand our definition of self-care. And so be comprehensive. Make sure you're touching on each of those 7 dimensions of self-care. And I'll just review them again. So the first one was sensory, anything that attends to our sense of smell, taste, touch, hearing, and seeing. right? So that's hugging. That's getting outside for some fresh air, smelling some flowers, smelling a candle, listening to music, right? That's what we did related to sensory. Number 2 is do something pleasure or fun, right? Pleasurable or fun. Number 3 was mental. Learn something new or do a task that you've been avoiding. Number 4 was spiritual. We did that with that Abide app. Remember that. Number 5 was emotional, right? Journal, show yourself some compassion and self-love. Dig deep into your emotions, which we did when we talked about that Superwoman cape. Physical, right? Exercise or eating well, getting enough sleep, all of that stuff. We did our exercise today. And then number 7 is social, right? Connect with someone else. So that's how I want you to broaden your definition of self-care, and don't put yourself into a box. Don't put yourself into this box where self-care only means, you know, like going to get a massage or going to get a manicure or eating a dinner out with friends. Like, it's so much more than that, because you are so much more than that. So broaden your definition of self-care, okay? So those are the do's and the don'ts. Let me tell you what we're going to be doing tomorrow or tonight, if you want to plan it tonight. So I know that the weekend is coming up, and I thought we could take this time to do something fun. So that is your self-care challenge. Number 5 is to do something fun, schedule something fun that involves interacting with another adult. Right? So we could say doing something fun is like going to the park with our kids. Yes, it is, absolutely. But I want us to have that adult connection, because sometimes we miss that one. So that can be going out with your husband, going out with a really good girlfriend. It could be staying in, right? It could mean inviting a friend over to just like hang out and watch a movie. It could mean calling a friend that you haven't talked to in a long time. I'll tell you, one time my friends and I actually scheduled a conference call. There's like a group of us that all went to graduate school together, about like 5 or 6 of us. And, you know, we would like try to connect one-on-one, and that was just taking too much time. And I was like, how fun would it be if we just had a conference call? Almost like we're having like a little like girl powwow. If we all had big summer parties together, let's just like all get on the phone and chat. And we did it, and it was so much fun. So that's an idea, right? You can call a friend, call a group of friends, schedule a conference call. But whatever you do, I want you to make a plan. Like, I don't want it to be like, oh, if I see this person, then maybe I'll ask them this. No, like, take the initiative. Think about what you would like to do, whether that's going out, whether that's having a phone conversation, or whether that's having someone come over, right? This is doing something fun with another adult. Bowling. Yeah, bowling, that's cool. That's cool, Hannah. I haven't been bowling in a really long time. That would be fun. So yeah, so schedule it. So figure out who you're going to go bowling with, when you're going to go, make the plans to make it happen, right? And that goes for all of you. Think about what you want to do, who you want to do it with, and when you want to do it, and make the plans for it to happen. Okay, so the great thing about this challenge is you have a couple of days to actually make it happen. I hope that you will at least decide like what you're going to do, who you're going to do it with, and when you're going to do it, right? You don't have to do it tomorrow, but you at least have to schedule it, right? You at least have to have the plan in place. And so if that's something you can implement over the weekend, great. But if you really want to hang out with your friend who lives like, you know, an hour away from you, and you guys aren't going to be able to get together until 2 weeks, that's fine. As long as you've made the plan and you've decided what you're going to do, that's credit enough, right? So again, what you're doing is you're just making a plan. You're scheduling something fun to do. Decide what you want to do, who you want to do it with, and when it's going to happen, okay? So I will post this, of course, tomorrow morning in our day 5 challenge, and then you can put all your comments of what you're going to do and all of that good stuff. And while you're scheduling things, right, while you're getting out your calendar and you're figuring out what you want to do, I have something that you can put on your calendar if it's not on your calendar already. That's December 8th through 9th. here in New Jersey is the Glam Getaway. I feel like I should have like a theme song or some theme music whenever I talk about this. So I am so, so, so excited. If you haven't heard, I am doing my first getaway event. You guys who've been to my sort of like evening events always tell me we want it to be longer. Guess what? A getaway is longer, and it is the ultimate self-care experience. So the Glam Getaway will include all of those lovely pampering things that we like as women, right? The massages, the mini makeovers, the photo shoots. We're going to have a styling session. We're going to talk with health coaches. We're going to do some personality assessments. Remember those like Cosmo quizzes that we used to take like back in the day? We're going to do something similar. It's a little bit more mature, a little bit more rigorously tested, but you're going to learn so much about yourself. So Friday night is like total girls' night. Just think of like girls' night, hanging out, having fun, mixing, mingling, meeting people, setting the groundwork for what's going to happen on Saturday. And so then on Saturday, we have the opportunity to wake up bright and early, to do some prayer and meditation and yoga. Excuse me. And then we're going to move into the glam session, which is the main session on Saturday, where it's all about glam, which glam actually stands for God's love abides in me. So we're going to be talking a lot about who we are as spiritual loving beings. Like, how can we tune into ourselves and to our true spirit of love, and how can we better receive the love of God first, and then the love of those that we care about in our lives. And so we're going to be talking about how to remove love blocks. Like, if there's anyone in your life that you're not feeling totally and completely loved by, we're going to be examining like what's getting in the way in that relationship, in that interaction, whether that's your husband or whether that's someone else in your life. We're going to be talking about what love means to you, right? Everyone, if you say like, what is love? You could ask 100 different people and get 100 different responses. We're going to be zeroing in on what love looks and feels like for you, how you show love to others, how you prefer others show love to you, which I think will be really fun and amazing. We are going to be having an incredible panel of women. Like, I've spoken to each one of these women. I know their stories, their trials, their triumphs. I've gotten chills, I've cried, I've laughed in these conversations with these women. We have women ranging from those who are married, who are talking about a restored marriage. We have a woman who's a widow. We have a woman who is going through the process of divorce. We have a single woman. We've got it all sharing so transparently, like heart open, for you, right? Because we know that when we can be vulnerable and we hear someone else's story that speaks to something that we may be experiencing in our lives, like what a transformation that is for us. And so this panel, hands down, will provide that for you. Like, I feel like my life has been transformed just by having these initial conversations with the panelists, and I'm so excited to share them with you. And then I'll be talking, of course, super excited about my talk, which is entitled Put Your Glam On, and I will be talking about how to operate more from a space of love to achieve amazing things in your life. And then we're going to be setting some goals. It's called #LoveGoals. And your goals for your life, right? It's December. This event is in December, and December for me is always an incredibly reflective time where I think about, okay, I started out the year this way. I wanted to accomplish this. Like, how well did I do? And we'll have some time to actually do some dream mapping and action planning for 2018, so that you can hit the ground running, so that come January 1st, you're not scrambling together trying to figure out like getting your life together. You already got it together in December. You just need to open that notebook, that journal that you got, and put that plan into action. And I'm so excited about it. So you can find all the details about Glam. I will put a link right here in this live stream, but it is also on my website. If you go there, berelateable.com. So it's berelateable.com. There is a tab there that says Glam Getaway. Early bird pricing ends November 9th. So if you like a good deal, and don't we all? You better make sure you get your ticket by November 9th because the price goes up pretty significantly on November the 10th. So don't delay there. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to post them here in the comments, shoot me a direct message here on Facebook, send me an email. I am happy to respond to all of them. So that's what I have for you. Again, it's December 8th and 9th, Friday. We start Friday evening with our welcome reception, so you don't need to take a full day off work or anything like that, unless you're traveling from a ways away. But we start around 5 or 6 on Friday, and then we go through Saturday at 2 with an optional shopping trip from 2 to 6. So you could say like from 6 Friday to 6 Saturday is your glam time. So 24 hours, one night. I think you deserve that, right? If you can truly see this time away as not taking time away from your family, but depositing and refreshing you so that you can be a better person for them, you will be running to this experience. I know that I am. I'm like, it can't get here soon enough. I can't wait. So I hope to see you there. I hope that you will join us. So that's what I have for you. So again, check out the Glam Getaway, and I'll make sure I drop the link into this live stream. And in the meantime, get ready to schedule something fun. And if the Glam Getaway is the thing that you schedule, you still get credit, right? All you can do is schedule it. So check it out, get your tickets, and have fun, all right? And I will be back with you really soon. I'll see you in the posts tomorrow. All right, bye-bye, everyone.